Hey you guys, this is Alan Moore, certified financial planner and founder of Serenity Financial Consulting. Thanks for joining me. I recently had a client sitting in my office and they were visibly upset. They had just had a parent pass away and my client was responsible for executing their parent's estate. So the attorney had sent over the most recent will, and the will clearly stated that they wanted to split their assets between their 3 children, my client and their 2 siblings. So my client called the insurance company that had a life insurance policy on their parents, and the insurance company said, oh, well, there's actually a charity listed as the beneficiary on this policy. So then my client called the custodian holding the retirement account, that was their IRA of their parents, and they had only listed one of the 3 children as beneficiary on their retirement account. So my client said, what can we do? How can we get the beneficiary designations changed, or how can we get these policies to the 3 children? The answer, there's nothing you can do. It's too late. Once the person has passed away, you can't change the beneficiary designations. Unfortunately, a lot of people incorrectly assume that the will dictate the entire estate. So if you list something in your will, everything that you own will go through your will. Unfortunately, this is not correct. Beneficiary designations on retirement accounts, annuity contracts, life insurance policies, these don't go through the will. Those policies actually go directly to the stated beneficiary. The only way they go really through the will is if the owner actually listed the owner's estate as a beneficiary, which it doesn't happen very often. So they go completely outside the will. The will many times may only be directing a few, personal property items such as clothing, furniture, collectibles, automobiles, and things like that. I've had clients with several $1 million in net worth in which their will really didn't direct anything because most of their money was in retirement accounts. As a financial planner, I'm not legally able to write estate documents, but I certainly review them for clients as part of the financial planning process. And I am amazed at how many times I find beneficiary designations that don't line up with the will. And usually this is just an oversight by the client. Although there are situations where it could be intentional, like you wanted to leave specific accounts to certain people, but usually it's unintentional. The estate attorney typically will draft the estate plan by writing all the documents, but the client is typically in charge of actually implementing the estate plan. That means the client is responsible for going and checking the beneficiary designations on all of their accounts to be sure that they line up with their wishes. So if you're viewing this on the blog, there's a link in the post that you can actually download a beneficiary designation worksheet. If you're viewing this on YouTube, you can click over to the blog to download that. What I would encourage you to do is go through this sheet and list every single account that you own. Again, every retirement and investment account, every life insurance policy, every annuity contract, anything that has a listed beneficiary designation on it. Write down the account and then double check every single beneficiary. So you may have to go to the original contract, you may have to look online, you may have to call the company. It can be a bit of a time-consuming process, but I promise that it will be worth it. I have seen several times ex-spouses listed as beneficiaries. This is especially important if you have been previously married. And that is not something you want to leave your spouse to deal with after you have died, is the fact that your ex-spouse is now the listed beneficiary on your policies. That is not fun. So what do you think? Have you gone through and filled out the worksheet? Are you going to? Definitely let me know if you find anything interesting or people that you didn't realize you were listed as beneficiaries. I'd be interested to hear any feedback that you have. That's all I have for today. Thanks so much for joining me.